Some rulers ruled by divine right, others simply by sheer madness. From extravagant circuses to bizarre court rituals, history is littered with thrones occupied by the deeply peculiar. These were men and women who defied every norm of kingship we know today. Here are 10 of the most unbelievable occurrences ever documented. Let's dive in. Number 10. Number 10, Xerxes I of Persia, the colossal forced passage of armies through the narrow strait at Thermopylae, c. 480 BC. In the spring of 480 BC, Xerxes I prepared to usher the vast Persian Empire into the heartland of Greece. His ambition was absolute subjugation. To achieve this monumental goal, his forces faced a logistical and geographical gauntlet, the narrow coastal passage known as Thermopylae. As thousands upon thousands of men, along with unimaginable numbers of war beasts, struggled through the choke point, history records the colossal scale of the invasion. Xerxes' march demanded discipline and endurance from an army spanning multiple cultures and countless miles. Yet, even such overwhelming might could not circumvent the stubborn resistance awaiting them in the pass. The Greek defenders, recognizing that their natural geography was their greatest weapon, positioned themselves to bottleneck the invaders. The desperate stand of a small Hellenic force against the might of the Achaemenid Empire at this very strait marked one of history's most pivotal moments, a defiance that showcased not merely bravery, but tactical genius in the face of overwhelming power. Number 9. Number 9, Antiochus IV Epiphanes, the radical desecration and reconsecration of the Jerusalem Temple during periods of Jewish revolt, circa 167 to 168 BCE. From among the monarchs of the Seleucid Empire emerges Antiochus IV Epiphanes, a figure whose ambition fueled a seismic crisis in the ancient Near East. Operating circa 167 BCE, his zeal for Hellenization culminated in calculated impiety against the Jewish community centered in Jerusalem. Antiochus sought not merely tribute, but spiritual control. He initiated systematic forced conversions and banned core religious practices, threatening to erase centuries of tradition. The ultimate act of sacrilege was the desecration of the temple itself, the crowning violation being the dedication of swine sacrifices on the altar. This monumental transgression shattered the fragile peace, igniting the desperate Maccabean revolt. Faced with systematic cultural annihilation under a foreign power, Jewish resistance erupted into open warfare. Antiochus's cruelty did not subdue Jerusalem, instead, it catalyzed a brutal fight for survival that would redefine Jewish sovereignty in history forever. Number 8. Number 8, Constantine the Great elevating Christianity from a persecuted sect to a favored state religion, leading to the founding of Constantinople, 330 CE. Constantine I, known to history as Constantine the Great, was a pivotal figure whose reign fundamentally reshaped the destiny of the late Roman Empire. Before his influence, Christianity remained a marginalized faith, often facing intense persecution. His elevation of the religion from a persecuted sect into an imperial favorite marked one of the most profound shifts in Western history. By the 4th century CE, Constantine's political machinations and shifting loyalties irrevocably entangled Christian belief with Roman power. This monumental shift culminated in his audacious decision to found a new capital city. In 330 CE, he oversaw the dedication of Constantinople, a magnificent metropolis built upon the ancient city of Byzantium. This imperial project was far more than mere relocation, it cemented Christianity's permanence within the heart of the empire. Constantine did not just adopt a religion, he used his unprecedented power to build an architectural testament and a political machine dedicated entirely to its supremacy, ensuring that Roman destiny would forever be intertwined with the nascent Christian faith. Number 7. Number 7, Louis XIV of France, establishing Versailles as an absolute epicenter of monarchical life through mandatory elaborate court protocol, 1661 to 1715. Louis XIV's quest for ultimate authority transformed not merely a royal residence, but an entire geopolitical machine, the Palace of Versailles. Beginning in 1661, Louis established court protocol as a meticulously constructed social prison. By drawing the aristocracy to this opulent seat outside Paris, he effectively controlled every facet of noble life through mandated elaborate rituals. The Sun King understood that political power rested not just on military might, but on performance. At Versailles, status was measured by proximity to the monarch and adherence to rigid court etiquette. Daily life became a theatrical display of hierarchy. The lever ceremony, or the formal dressing ritual, dictated every man's public worth. Over the decades leading up to his death in 1715, this compulsory grandeur solidified royal power into an absolute epicenter. The sheer scale and complexity of Versailles transformed resistance from armed rebellion into a social matter, proving that sometimes, the most potent tyranny was exercised through impeccable fashion and excruciating protocol. Number 6. Number 6, Cleopatra VII of Egypt. Her pivotal political alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, navigating the Mediterranean power struggle, c. 48 to 30 BCE. Cleopatra VII was not merely a queen, she was the strategic nexus of an empire teetering on the brink. As the last pharaoh of the Ptolemaic dynasty, her survival depended entirely upon mastering the brutal politics of Rome. Following Caesar's civil war victory and subsequent establishment in Egypt in 48 BCE, Cleopatra recognized that Roman favor was the only currency that mattered. Her pivotal alliance with Julius Caesar granted her unprecedented power, cementing Egypt's status as a crucial Mediterranean prize. But when Caesar fell, she navigated the shifting sands of allegiance, ultimately forging a formidable bond with Mark Antony. This relationship placed the jewel-encrusted throne of Alexandria directly in opposition to Octavian's rising authority. The ensuing struggle for Roman hegemony pitted east against west, culminating at Philippi and across the Mediterranean. Through her dazzling intelligence and political acuity, Cleopatra sought to maintain Egyptian independence until her final years with Antony. It was a dramatic, doomed defense of sovereignty against the inexorable march of Rome itself, ending definitively in 30 BCE. Number 5. Number 5, Philip II of Spain. The intensely devout patronage that fueled massive European conflicts against the Protestant Reformation, 1556 to 1598. Philip II ascended to the Spanish throne in 1556, a monarch whose deeply rooted Catholic fervor defined his reign. For the devout king, Spain was not merely a realm, it was the vanguard bastion of universal Catholicism against the rising tide of dissent. His personal piety transformed state policy into an intensely zealous crusade. The Protestant Reformation challenged the very foundations of the Holy Roman Empire and European order. Viewing this theological schism as both spiritual crisis and political threat, Philip marshaled Spain's immense wealth and formidable armies across Europe. From conflicts in the Netherlands to interventions in Germany, his patronage fueled decades of devastating military campaigns. The crown became synonymous with uncompromising dogma, transforming diplomatic necessity into religious mandate. This unyielding commitment climaxed in resistance against England's Protestant monarchy at the close of the century, setting Spain's destiny firmly on the anvil of global Catholic power for over 40 years. Number 4. Number 4, Augustus Caesar. His calculated propaganda and strategic settlement after the Battle of Actium, effectively ending the Roman Republic, 30 BCE. Following the decisive victory at Actium in 31 BC, Octavian, soon known as Augustus, stood poised not merely as a conqueror, but as an architect of unprecedented power. The fragile facade of the Roman Republic crumbled beneath the weight of his military authority. Recognizing that pure brute force was insufficient to cement his rule across Italy and the Mediterranean, he mastered the art of calculated propaganda. He presented himself to Rome not as a monarch, but as the restorer of peace, transforming himself into the pater patriae, or father of the country. His strategic settlements systematically dismantled the republican structures while preserving crucial illusions of tradition. By meticulously controlling historical narrative and reshaping its legal framework, Augustus ensured that his power appeared necessary, inevitable, and constitutional. This masterful political theater culminated in 27 BCE with the restoration of idealized titles, a settlement that effectively eliminated all competing claims to authority. By 30 BCE, the Republic was officially extinguished, replaced by the enduring Pax Augusta, the foundation of the Roman Empire. Number 3. Number 3, Nero of Rome. The dramatic accusation of starting the Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE and blaming the nascent Christian community. Rome, under the reign of Nero, endured a devastating blow in 64 CE, the Great Fire. This conflagration ravaged much of the sprawling ancient city, leaving untold thousands homeless and forever altering the monumental landscape of the Eternal City. In the chaos that followed, and amid the burning ruins, suspicion quickly found a vulnerable target. The senatorial elite and Roman populace sought a scapegoat for such immense suffering. While the historical truth remains debated by scholars, the narrative that emerged was damning. Nero himself, facing mounting pressure and perhaps accused of dereliction or complicity, turned his fury upon the burgeoning Christian community. These early followers of Christ, a small, often misunderstood sect, were accused not just of piety, but of starting the very flames that consumed their city. This dramatic accusation led directly to a period of brutal persecution, cementing Nero's volatile reign in infamy and marking a pivotal moment in Roman history. Number 2. Caligula of Rome. His documented tendency to treat highly advanced military units, such as his horse Incitatus, with political dignity, 37 to 41 CE. Caligula reigned over Rome between 37 and 41 CE, a period stained by an intoxicating blend of opulence and genuine madness. While his tyranny against the populace is well documented, it was his bizarre treatment of military protocol that earned him a reputation as history's most wildly eccentric potentate. His excesses extended beyond mere corruption; they became a theater of public absurdity. Nowhere was this clearer than in his peculiar reverence for certain highly advanced, if non-human, units. Most famously cited by Tacitus is the case of Incitatus, a horse whom Caligula elevated to positions traditionally reserved only for senators and consuls. This wasn't merely treating an animal as a pet, it was bestowing upon him political dignity, including alleged visits to the Senate. These actions suggest a mind that blurred the lines between divine whim, imperial power, and the rigid structure of Roman bureaucracy. For Caligula, every being could be subjected to the highest trappings of civic respect, transforming military command and animal husbandry into one grand performance for an empire fascinated by its mad emperor. Number 1. Akhenaten of Egypt, abandoning millennia of established polytheism to enforce the radical worship of a single solar deity, Aten, c. 1350 BCE. In the vast sweep of ancient Egypt, religion was built upon millennia of established polytheism, a complex pantheon governing every aspect of life. Yet, around 1350 BCE, an upheaval seized the throne with Akhenaten, Pharaoh Amenhotep IV. Akhenaten launched a radical assault on tradition. Abandoning the powerful cults centered at Thebes, he abolished the veneration of gods like Ammonius-Ra and dismantled the sprawling temple complexes that had dictated Egyptian culture for centuries. In their place, he enforced the worship of a single solar deity, Aten, the radiant sun disk itself. He relocated the capital to Akhetaten, building a new city dedicated solely to this singular power source. This mandated monolatry was not merely a religious shift, it fundamentally restructured the state's relationship with its divine foundations. For years, Akhenaten attempted to remake civilization around one universal light, creating perhaps history's most disruptive and dramatic theological revolution.